Hey guys.
Hey guys.
So we wanted to have a little chat with you this evening about the topic of assumptions that people have about us as a couple and as a family. Before we get started, we'd just like to say thank you for all the likes and subscribes.
It's thank you so much.
You guys viewing it, that's the reason why we make these videos.
Absolutely.
So, on the topic of assumptions.
What do people assume about us?
Do you want to start?
Okay. Quite a number of people have mentioned to me, they're like, you were the Chinese guy because you just wanted that Blasian baby, didn't you? You just wanted that Blasian baby. And
people think that?
Seriously, yeah, people think that, and I do get that comment. I'm not offended, but I just think, wow.
That's a big thing.
That is a huge...
committing to a lifetime of marriage.
Yeah.
Just so that you can have a Blasian baby.
Yeah, it's a bit shallow, and I think that there's a big. To be honest with you, I didn't even realise that it was a trend until quite a few. I think it was about 5 years ago, when somebody was like telling me about all the K-pop and a lot of black people being into K-pop, and there's quite a lot of black and Asian. There's the Blasian kind of craze, basically. I had no idea about it.
There's a synergy there, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I know quite a lot of black people that like, for example, martial arts films. And
that's it. I grew
Bruce
up on
Lee and things like that. Whereas also I know that in Japan there's a lot of people who like hip hop.
Yeah, there's a massive hip hop. Kind of a, what's the word I'm looking for?
Subculture or culture?
Yeah, that's it. It's like a subculture, definitely, where they love bashment, and I've seen videos about it, and it's really interesting. But then, I wasn't aware that the whole Blasian thinking, we do use the hashtag Blasian, but then that's what you guys are searching for and how you can find us as a family, but that's not what we're all about at all. But then I understand the intrigue, and I think that even like when we get stares, even now, after all these years, don't get me wrong, it's not always negative stares at all. We get people come up to us and say, oh my gosh, you guys look so cute together, or look, compliment the kids. I think the main thing is they go straight for the kids, don't they? We're invisible, it's the kids, really. And and I certainly didn't get with Yipman because of the whole Blasian thing. To be honest, me and Yipman met, how many years ago has it been now? It's been about 20 years.
Exactly, 2000.
Oh yeah, so it's 20 years that we've known each other, and we got together a few years after that, and there was no, to be honest, it wasn't even trendy at all. I mean, we'll definitely do that in one of our other videos, that we've had quite a lot of obstacles in our way, from us dating and through us being together as a couple, especially at the beginning for a few years. There were lots of different things that we faced, being coming from two different cultures, and especially in the black and in the Asian culture, because I think a lot of people see them as worlds apart. And yes, quite a lot of people have mentioned that in Jamaica there is a lot of black and Chinese that are together, but in the UK it's not so much the case. I think in London there's definitely a lot more that I've seen around, just dotted around, but still I could count them maybe on one hand. So definitely, that is definitely not true. I fell in love with Yipman because he's an amazing guy, and I
think the important thing is we were friends before we started dating.
Definitely, yeah, we were best friends as well, weren't we?
Friendship is a core aspect of, or should be a core aspect of a relationship.
100%, yeah, totally agree. And I think that we were friends for so long, and we were literally living in each other's pockets. We saw each other on a daily basis, and we just became so acquainted with each other. It was strange when we weren't together for even 1 or 2 days. So it was lovely. It was really lovely, yeah, and it really still is, yeah. And we're just really grateful to God for putting us together, to be honest with you. I always say that, not to stereotype, but because within the Chinese culture you don't see a whole lot of tall Chinese men, so I say God made you for me. Is that cheesy?
Yeah, what if I was any shorter than you?
Oh, I've never really been a fan of short men, to be honest with you. But you know what, I think...
I look short on camera, don't
I? You do? So I'm up here, but no, you are much taller than me. One of the assumptions definitely I get quite frequently is that Isabella isn't... They can't believe that Isabella's my daughter. Or I get asked quite often, oh, is she yours? And the reason why I say that is because I have 2 nieces and a nephew, and when they were younger, I used to take them out, and you know, people always just presumed I was their mum, and I was like, no, I'm their auntie and what have you. Not so much with my nephew, because he's like, you know, the age gap isn't that big, so they thought he was my brother. But then, with my 2 nieces, they always presumed that I was their mum. And I don't get that. And now that I am a mom, I don't get that at all with her. They'll be like, oh, she's so beautiful. Oh, she looks quite oriental. And oh, you know, they just don't. They say, oh, are you her mom? They just seem to presume that she's not my daughter. And
because she looks more Chinese, I guess.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, with Isaac, I still had it, but nowhere near as much as I do with Isabella. And I think Isaac, yeah, you can definitely see that he has Chinese features. But then a lot of people seem to presume that he's half black, half white. But then with Isabella, straight away they can see that she has quite strong, prominent Chinese features. And I think with both of them as well, with their complexion, they're a lot lighter skinned than I am. And obviously people are aware that, you know, people integrate, and, you know, people are in interracial relationships, or whatever you want to call it.
But they didn't think that about you.
They just didn't think that she's my daughter.
And I get that. You kidnapped her or something?
I don't know. And especially when she's crying, it sounds ridiculous. But sometimes when she's screaming, like if we go out or something and she's having a tantrum, and I've just been like so conscious, thinking, I hope people don't think that I'm taking her. Because I'm like, Isabella, and she'll be like, no. I'm like, come here now, no. And then you see people looking, and I'm thinking, are they looking because they're thinking, control your child? Or are they thinking, you know,
there's a black woman kidnapping a Chinese
baby? Yeah, because some people actually think that she's just full Chinese with curly hair.
That's funny.
So, that's an assumption that I get quite often, is she really your child? And they ask me and they look at me like, well, is she really?
You know that news interview where there was the white guy being interviewed, and then there was like his kids came into the room, and then there was a Far Eastern looking woman.
They do, yeah.
Grabbing his kids, and I did assume wrongly that
me too,
it was the housekeeper.
And it's awful and it's wrong, and that's why we're talking about this, because we want to be real. We're not just saying that, you know what, they presume that, how dare they, and we don't make assumptions either. We make assumptions all the time, and both of us did think that she was the caretaker there, the housekeeper. We'd love to hear from you guys. Please comment down below if any of you have experienced similar situation as well, where people have thought that, you know, your child isn't your child. Because I can imagine from even you have someone that's Caucasian, and if you have a mixed race child that's mixed with black and white or Indian and white, you know, often I'm sure people presume the same thing when they see the hair texture is totally different, the complexion is totally different, the features totally different, especially if they take on the other person's looks as well. Like Isabella is all her dad. She literally just has my feet and that's about it. I do see a little bit of if I squint, I can see a little bit of me in her sometimes, and I think these discussions are really healthy and really important to talk about it, rather than just seeing it and saying, oh yeah, I just think it's all so beautiful. And it is a beautiful thing when different cultures combine, and, you know, especially when you look at, like, even say 60 years ago, how it was in the UK and how much more segregated it was as well. I'm not saying that it didn't occur, but it was on a less frequent basis, and it was definitely less accepted as well. Those
people, I guess, who were in interracial relationships 56 years ago must have been so brave, you know what I mean?
So brave, yeah.
They knew that, you know, going out, well, in England, they'd be getting stares. Yeah, for me there was this one incident where there was a party, I think it was Isaac's 100th day celebration, which is like a Chinese celebration. And then this Chinese lady came to me and said, look at Isaac's hair, it's so nice like this, isn't it? It's like yours, it's nice and straight.
Oh really?
Yeah, and
there's been so many comments like that.
There's loads of those.
But then I didn't know about that particular one.
I think a lot of them come from the Chinese side. But I think there's that assumption that people can say that and it's okay. Do you know what I mean? Like it's great that people have open, honest conversations about race and race relations and things. But to say something so it's derogatory, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
To assume that, you know, Chinese hair is nice and black hair isn't. And there was that other incident where we're around the dinner table, do you remember, with some family friends and things.
Okay.
And this lady in Cantonese, Adelaine was there as well, but in Cantonese she said, she doesn't like going to this certain place because there's too many black people there.
Oh,
and I got so mad.
I remember.
And I said to her, in Cantonese, because, you know, Adelaine was there, I didn't want to make a big scene, but I said, you know, you can't say rubbish like that.
Yeah.
I told Adelaine after, and
I was not impressed. I was like, why didn't you tell me before?
Yeah, maybe I should have told you.
But then I see, you know, I think I can see why you just didn't want to cause a scene. You didn't want to cause a scene.
So I just thought I'd address it at the time.
I'm glad that you did address it, because that's just rude to say it right in front of me, but because you've said it in another language, you think it's okay.
There's that thing of, she likes Adelaine, she's one of those okay people.
Yeah,
you know, those
she's
okay
the acceptable.
black
She's the acceptable black person. But what if I had an afro, or what if, you know, I was a lot? I mean, I am dark skinned, but what if I was much darker skinned, or, you know, would it be seen differently then as well?
She's a Christian. You know?
I know, yeah, she's a Christian. That doesn't say anything either, because I've had many incidents with race with Christians anyway. I think it's out of ignorance a lot of the times. I don't think it's always intended, or I think it's that sort of thing where they're like, it's not your type of black, but then there's a certain type of black that I don't like, or, you know, they think it's okay to speak negatively about black men around me, but then I'm black, and so I do have a problem with it. I will defend my race because I am a black woman, and
we should defend.
We should defend anyone, to be honest, because I defend
injustice.
We should,
you know what I mean?
definitely, and I think we're quite fair with that, to be honest with you, because we've been in many conversations with people, even people of our own culture, defending white people or what have you, and I think that it's good to get that balance. Another assumption, definitely, is something that I've heard, not on lots of occasions, but on a few occasions, personally, and also on here as well with some of the comments, is that I'm with Hickman for the money. And I think there's so many levels to it, but you know, I think that one of the things that I find frustrating is that I think, well, I'm with Yitman for the money, so that's a negativity on Yitman's side, because they're thinking that I'm only with him for the money. Then there's the assumption that he has money and I don't have money, or he's educated and I'm not educated. And then it's like, and it does frustrate me, in the sense that I think that it comes from different angles, it comes from different people as well. So when I say different people, it's not just like somebody of another race, because I've seen comments on here where people have said that and they have too been black as well. But then I just think, firstly, you're totally wrong. Secondly, you know, me and Yitman are both educated people, and it's not in a braggy way, but then, you know, we both studied, both went to university, and, you know, and I think that...
I think career-wise, when we met, we started off on the same level.
Yeah, totally. We both started on the same level.
When we got into a serious relationship, financially, we decided that different people do different things differently. But financially, we decided, you know, we would share a lot of what we had.
Yeah.
So to assume that I had everything financially sorted and she took off me isn't the case at all.
No, I had a lot of savings, actually. I was really good at saving.
You had more than me.
Even when I was at university and stuff, and I always put money to one side, and I, you know, saved money, and that was something that I've always been raised to, you know, to really appreciate savings for a rainy day, that sort of a thing. And and I just think it's really disappointing that, especially in this day and age now, when you see that we, you know, in every culture there's success, in every culture there's failures, but then to think that, presume that because I'm black that I'm the one with the less money, I think that's really disappointing, really, because, you know, there are many educated black people out there. You know, in America they've had a black president. People just need to just be a bit more, you know, have a bit more depth about them, and realise that, you know, that money isn't always a factor when it comes to love at all, because it shouldn't be any factor, we started going out. I didn't visit your house. I didn't know that, you know, that your dad had a restaurant or anything like that. There was none of that I knew about. Yipman came to my house, and, you know, he always complimented, you know, my mum's house, and, you know, that was lovely. And when I went to your house, it was a big house, but he never mentioned, oh yeah, I live in a really, really, you know, I've got this big house and what have you. He's a very humble guy, and I had no idea, and it meant nothing, because for me, regardless, I could have gone to a flat and it wouldn't have made any difference whatsoever. I think another small assumption is that I can't speak Cantonese, or I can't understand Cantonese. And don't get me wrong, I don't speak it fluently. I'm not going to say that I can speak it fluently, but I do understand quite a lot, and I can speak a fair amount as well. So we're going back to when Yipman was speaking about the lady that was saying about like black people. It's a shame that she presumes that that I wouldn't understand, but I mean, she didn't. But then unfortunately at that point it was early on in the relationship and I couldn't. But had she have said it now, I know a lot of the terminologies, and even I've been places and just in like I remember I was in Asda one of the times, and these a Chinese family were talking and what have you, and I just interjected. And I was doing it a bit in a smug way, to be honest with you, because I understood what they were saying. They were talking about the food, I can't remember what it was, and they were like, oh wow, well done, Holette, which means very clever. And, you know, I felt really proud. So don't presume that, you know, black people, or, you know, black people can't speak Cantonese or any other language.
Because they might surprise you.
They might surprise you.
Do you remember that time in Hong Kong when we went to a stand in the market? And then
that woman went off at me.
You picked up a ball that's meant to be, it was like a stress ball thing that you throw and it splatters.
Yeah.
So Adelaide picked one up and threw it on the table.
I just splattered it because it was
Which you're meant to do.
Yeah.
And then she said, hey, back paw.
Yeah, she called me a...
Beep.
Yeah, basically.
And
yeah, she called me a B-I-T-C-H.
And you knew what she said.
And I knew what she said, and so I said that I called her crazy. I said, "Ceasing," or something like that. Touching a kid's hair, that's something that winds me up. I don't mind if I know the person, that's fine, you can touch their hair. But then
from a stranger.
But then when you get a stranger and you just get someone off the street, or to be honest with you, a lot of the time it tends to be in like Chinese restaurants. I know she was fascinated, but then there's always a giggle. The majority of the time there's a giggle, and it's because
it's like, they got curly hair. Oh.
So Yipman can do the impersonation, you see, I can't. That's the other thing.
I wasn't even trying to do a Chinese accent, I just thought I'd do a silly voice. I can't do a Chinese accent.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd presume that he can do a Chinese accent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that, I don't like when people just come up to the kids and just touch their hair. That could be a whole other video in itself, but then
what about that woman that came in to kiss? Came in to kiss
Isaac. She went to kiss Isaac on the lips, and
when he was really young.
Yeah, she just thought
just
it was
a stranger,
okay.
You know.
Yeah, just randomly off the streets, don't know where your mouth's been, don't want to know where your mouth's been. By the way, you cannot kiss my child. I told her quite sternly, because first time mom, guys, you know, if you're a first time mom, you ain't messing, and you're very protective of that child, and boy was I protective of Isaac, still am. But then, I was just like, excuse me, what do you think you're doing? And she was like, oh, but he looked like he wanted to kiss me. I said, he's a child, he is 1 year old. Even if he's going to kiss you, even if he's trying to kiss you, you do not kiss my child, I don't know you from Adam. Like, seriously, I just couldn't understand that, that did get me cross. I was not impressed. There were no smiles. I'm quite a smiley person. Naturally, people that know me know that that's just my nature. I'm smiling. I love a big hug. This time I'm missing all the hugs from friends, family. Obviously I'm getting it from my immediate family. But yeah, I just was like, what on earth are you thinking, woman? Was not impressed at all. But yeah, please do not touch our kids' hair. Just if we've just met you off the street, it's just not something that you do. You just don't touch a child's hair. I just think that you don't touch children.
Touching children
do not do
is not a good thing.
So that's the end of our video. I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. We do appreciate it. And we would love to hear from you. Please comment down below. So we see a lot of views, but we'd love to have even more comments just so we can get to know each and every one of you, whereabouts you're from, and what your view is on this topic as well. And also what assumptions you may have made about us. We will not be offended.
Promise.
Yeah. But then we'd love to do it, if we do get enough of them, we'll do it for part 2 as well. And at least then we can address it and we can discuss it and we can have a healthy conversation about it. What do you reckon?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, absolutely. Fun. So as always, please don't forget to like. Please don't, if you have enjoyed this video, of course. And please don't forget and please don't forget to subscribe to our channel as well.
Click on the bell.
Please click on the bell, guys, because we see so many of you subscribers and we do have a look at all of our stats as well, and we can see that we have all of you as subscribers, but not as many of you have clicked the bell. And if you don't click the bell, then you won't be notified when our next video is, which would be such a shame, wouldn't it? So please do click that bell and then you will be notified.
Thank you guys again, and we'll see you next time. Hope you enjoyed the conversation.
Peace out, guys.
Peace out. Peace out.
We love you guys.